Hi everyone, this is Jim. This week I wanted to talk a little more about the 9x9 game, and I'll use the game I played last week as an example. And one of my viewers, Infinite Universe, made some nice comments, so I wanted to kind of examine them. So I saved the game, and then let's just play through it. I have the black pieces. My opponent has the white pieces. We have kind of a normal opening. Now with black, you have to overcome the komi. White has about 5.5 points of komi, so I'm playing pretty aggressively, putting my stone forward. And I think he responds a little bit too passively, White does, because I think I end up with a good position here. I've managed to grab a significant amount of space here in the early part of the game. And he just builds this wall, but it leaves him with significantly less space. So I think I actually have enough to overcome the komi. And so he has to launch some kind of invasion to try and reduce my territory. And he started out with this move h5, which I think is a good try from White. I think he gave up a little too much early, but then this is a good way to try and get some of it back and prove that I've overextended myself here. So my strategy was to cut this stone off, and if I can succeed in cutting this stone off and not allowing it to live but to capture it, then I should win this game. So this is going to be the issue of the game here. And right here in the video I was talking about what to do if White played at the square J4. And what I suggested was that I would play at H3. Actually I said H4, but I meant H3. The point of this move is to keep these stones on this side cut off from these stones on this side. There's this technique of connecting underneath. If White could play a stone at H3 and a stone at J4, then these two stones over here would be connected through tactical means to the stones on this side, and that would be a permanent loss of territory for me. So I need to keep these stones cut off. Infinite Universe pointed out that after J4, there's another way to do the cutoff, which is to play at J3. That attacks the stone, and if I was worried about White maybe continuing with H3, counterattacking my stone, but I have time to capture here, and it looks like I can fill in here, and then I'll be able to round up these stones similar to what should have happened in the game. So I think that's a valid point. But I think it's also true what I said. If I go here, it keeps this stone cut off. It doesn't put any pressure on it, so he can start building out immediately. Yeah, I didn't look at this line. So it gives White an extra tempo, so that is kind of dangerous. So I guess I have to agree that coming in this situation, coming in at J3 is a better move than coming in at H3. Just it keeps these stones cut off from these stones, which is the objective, and at the same time it puts pressure on this stone. So when you can make a move that does multiple things at the same time, that's a good sign you're on the right track. Okay, let's go forward in the game. In the game, he didn't play there. He played at H3. I just extended to keep his stones cut off for the same reason, and now he started building out his territory with these three stones. So we get up to move 29. And he's got something that looks like an I shape here, so this is potentially a serious threat. I do have to be careful. And I think this J5 move was a good move to play because it looks at this I space here and prevents him from extending himself to J5 and creating an I. Although he can still play at J6 potentially and create an I that way. Oh yeah, that's right. It encouraged him to fill in because I was also attacking those three stones. So I think that was a good move on my part. And then we're on move 29. Right here, I was talking about it in the video, and I decided this was the best move. And then I got a little confused later on in the variations, and thought that this group was still going to be able to live. But you can see pretty clearly that it can't survive. There's not enough space over here to make two I's because of the fact that I've got these stones creeping in at J4 and J5. So for example, if he extends here, he's got what looks like 4 spaces, but I just keep creeping in. He tries to cut me off, and then he's only got one eye here, obviously. So that would be a pretty straightforward win. And I think I looked at a slightly different variation in that post-mortem, in the brief post-mortem after the game. And I just was seeing it wrong. I was seeing I forget exactly what I played, but I was seeing like an eye here, an eye here, and an eye here. But this one doesn't count because I'm just going to take that away. Something like that. Anyway, so with this move at F7 here, right at this point, rather than stopping him from expanding, I can go ahead and let him expand because he still can't get an eye space. I just need to stop him from cutting and getting some activity over here. But in the game, there's one more comment from Infinite Universe I wanted to get to. In the game, I played here, and he did the cut. And let's see, I didn't want that stone expanding, so I started going after it, and I kind of left these stones alone, figuring I would get back to them. But it's a bit tricky here, and this move 33 was a mistake. Just continuing to go after these stones and falling behind. And what what Infinite Universe suggested was at move 33 here, I could play at J6. And if you look at this for a second, it's Black's turn to move. And this group only has 3 liberties, 1, 2, 3. This group over here that's surrounding it, this has 4 liberties, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this group here has 3 liberties, 1, 2, 3. So because it's my turn, and this group has 3 liberties, and my group has 3 liberties, I can win the capturing race. And so this is not going to be, this will be a win for Black again, because his invasion will fail. What I was a little bit worried about was, what if he, keeps trying to expand over here? Say he plays a couple moves. Say he plays one move attacking these stones. They keep attacking, and then he branches over here. And then instead of doing something about this, I take these stones, and then he tries to get a living shape over here. This isn't too far-fetched. I have to be a little bit careful. Let's show one example. Well, here, I'll play a bad move. This is a bad move. He kind of surrounds it, and then I play over here, and then he captures it. And then, let's see, I have to make one more bad move before he manages to live. This is a living space, so he has managed to create a living space. I can't creep in here because he gets captured. So he has, well, let's finish it. So he's got 2 eyes. These 3 stones look out on both those eyes, and this group of stones look out on both those eyes. So this would be a living shape. But that only happens if I play badly. If I let's rerun that invasion here. So say I went ahead and captured all those stones, which of course at this point I don't need to capture there because I'm way ahead in the race. I can leave that off at any time. But say I go ahead and capture, and he plays here. Rather than playing in the middle here, which is something, actually, it's the kind of mistake I've made a lot. I play in the middle, and then my opponent captures that stone, and it gives him an eye. So it actually has a negative effect. Just block here, and he can try and create an eye, but I don't think there's any way for him to do it. There's just not enough time. I can creep in here. Let's see, he can create one eye, but he can't create a second eye here. He could try. Yeah, I have to worry about him coming back at me a little bit, but I can connect over here. So he comes here, I connect, and he's not getting a second eye. He's only got one eye there. So that invasion will fail. So what that means is when I was a little bit too concerned about this stone when I played here at D7. I was a little bit too concerned about this group of 2 stones, and I actually have enough time to conquer these stones. If it's my turn, I just start playing here and win the capturing race and grab these stones. And even if he completely ignores my attempt to capture these and just devotes the next few moves to trying to create an eye over here, or 2 eyes, and live with these 2 stones, it's not going to happen. They're too well surrounded, and there's just not the room there for them to make 2 eyes. Okay, so that would have also won. So nice comments from Infinite Universe, thank you. And I've been playing a number of 9x9 games this week. I didn't have as much time to play long games, so I was playing some 9x9 games. And I wanted to try and get a little better at it. And there was this one case that occurred during one of my games. I wanted to talk about it. So I had the black pieces again. And let's see, we got a position like this. And then my opponent came in here. So my strategy, as I mentioned before, with in a 9x9 game, when you have the black pieces, you've got to overcome the komi. So you got to play kind of aggressively. So I've grabbed 3 corners, and I've won games like this. If you can get the 3 corners and 2 sides, that's usually enough to overcome the komi. And so when my opponent plays in here at e7, I almost always play at e8. I'm just trying to hold on to my territory on the side, and so if he plays like this, this might not look so great because it seems like he's grabbed a lot of space in the middle, but I'm going to try and invade later in the middle, and we would see how it goes. But at least my stones are connected here. He can't break here because I can capture any stone that comes in there at the moment. So he's got to decide where to play next. Maybe trying to cut this stone off. It's probably pretty good for white still. But what he played in this game was kind of interesting. He played this move. And I saw this stone was under attack, and I extended it. And that turned out to be a mistake. These stones lived, and my stones were cut apart. I think he went here. And so I never got very much territory in this game at all. So I've lost by quite a big margin. So I wanted to take a look at what maybe would be a better response to this play at f8. And the move that suggests itself is f7 here. Just connect these stones, cut his stones apart so his stones are not connected. And what I was worried about in the game is, what if he goes after this stone? He can capture it. I can't really stop it. And he can also live here if I'm not careful. For example, I looked at this line. I attack the stone from this side. He goes here. And now I try and cut it off this way. He goes here. No, I think I'm still going to win. I think I will still manage to capture that group. But I decided eventually that it was even more effective to play here right away. And now if he captures a stone, I can play on top. And I've got this threat of capturing this stone. If he fills in, then he's just not going to be able to make 2 eyes. There's only room for 1 eye here. So I should be able to to capture this group. Now the line continues. It gets gets complicated here, right? He could try and break out here, but I can capture that stone. He can attack here and fill in, then he can go after this stone. I mean, it does get complicated. Maybe even this way would be better. But I think I can have to extend. But if he attacks this stone and tries to capture it, I can go this way. Anyway, it would turn into some kind of running fight. But this group back here, although it has 3 liberties, it's not alive. And I always have the idea, if I ever get time in the game, to come back here and kill that group. So from a territory point of view, I think that's an okay way to play. And then let's see, if I play here and he fills in, then I think this is even simpler. Once again, I just cut him off, and he's not going to get that. I guess it transposes into this same kind of thing. He's not going to be able to live here, although he has some counterattacking ideas because my stones are arranged in little groups here. So it would be a big fight, but I think my conclusion so far is that this move here, let's back up to the original problem, this move here where he played at f8 trying to attack the stone and get some presence over here should be met by f7, and then that move by e7, and just try and connect that way and also to round up those stones. So I don't know if that results in a great game overall, but at least it's one less type of invasion to be afraid of. Okay, well that's it for this video. Oh, I mentioned in the previous one that I was looking for Go books. I bought a couple, and when they come, I will start going through them. The books I bought, just for your information, I bought the first 2 books of the series called Learn to Play Go by Janice Kim, and they got some good reviews, and they're fairly recent books. So I'm looking forward to going through those, and I will share them with you after I get them. See you guys later. Bye.